The shocking truth behind Germany's economic collapse revealed.
German streets have been angry places recently.
For the first time, we're seeing a majority of people believe that Germany is past its prime, that our best years are behind us.
Europe's largest economy is feeling not so large these days. Germany's leading economic institutes have revised the country's growth this year down to basically near stagnation.
Europe's wealthiest nation, a country known for its economic heft, but now a country is staring at an economic crisis.
Germany's budget has a gaping hole in it.
In other words, these could be the worst years for the German economy in more than 2 decades.
Have you ever wondered what it would look like if a country was played like a puppet on a string? How would you react if the trusted partner you relied on for support and guidance had actually been pulling the strings to orchestrate your demise? Imagine a grand chess game where one player's every move is meticulously planned by another. Now, what if I told you that this isn't just a story from a spy novel, but the reality of Germany's economic decline orchestrated by the United States? Picture this: Germany, once a titan of industry and innovation, now finds itself in the throes of an economic crisis, grappling with soaring energy prices and diminishing global influence. How did a nation renowned for its economic prowess fall so hard and so fast? The answer lies in a complex web of manipulation and geopolitical strategy spun by none other than Uncle Sam. Let's dive into the intricacies of this tale. From the severing of vital energy ties with Russia to the forced exodus of German corporations from lucrative Chinese markets, the United States has systematically dismantled the economic foundations of Germany. Buckle up as we unravel the layers of deceit, coercion, and high-stakes power, plays that have left Germany reeling and the world watching in stunned silence. Chapter 1. Germany's struggle for survival in 2024. Picture this. Last year, while the world was busy playing economic hopscotch, Germany stumbled and fell flat on its face. Yep, you heard that right. In a global game of growth, Germany posted the worst performance of them all, with its economy shrinking by 0.3%.
They now expect the German economy to increase by just 0.1% in 2024, slashing their previous forecast of more than 1%.
Ouch. And you know what's even more cringeworthy? This economic train wreck isn't hitting the brakes anytime soon. Now, hold on to your seats because here comes the kicker. Germany had high hopes for a 2024 comeback, like a boxer gearing up for a knockout punch. But guess what? Reality punched back hard. The German government, once optimistic about a 1.3% growth rate, had to swallow a bitter pill and slash that forecast down to a measly 0.2%. Talk about going from hero to zero in record time. But wait, it gets scarier. Strap in because we're about to dive into the eye of the storm. Most economists and business big shots aren't just waving red flags, they're setting off alarm bells left, right, and center. Why? Because they're seeing something beyond your typical economic roller coaster. This isn't just a recession, it's a full-blown structural crisis, like finding out your favorite building has termites gnawing at its core. And here's the kicker. 2 out of every 3 German companies are packing their bags, bidding off Wiedersehen to Germany, or at least shifting some operations elsewhere. Why the exodus? Well, it's like a laundry list of economic nightmares. Sky-high energy prices, inflation running amok, regulations coming out the wazoo, and politicians doing the cha-cha with endless debates. It's enough to make anyone want to jump ship. But hold up, guys, because we're just scratching the surface. You see, the truth behind Germany's economic nosedive isn't just a juicy headline buried under layers of mainstream media fluff. Oh no, it's far juicier and a lot scarier than that. Today, right here, right now, I'm pulling back the curtain to reveal the real deal. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because I'm about to spill the beans on how Germany got played like a fiddle by the United States and managed to score some serious own goals in the process. Chapter 2. How the U.S. engineered Germany's economic crisis. Hold on to your hats, guys, because we're about to decode the three horsemen of Germany's economic apocalypse: sky-high energy prices, dwindling exports to China, and a surge in military spending. But here's the twist. Behind each of these troubles lurks a shadowy figure: the United States. Let's start with reason numero uno: those pesky sky-high energy prices. You know, the kind that makes your electricity bill look like a phone number. Well, guess who's pulling the strings behind this energy price puppet show? You got it, the good old US of A. Next up, we've got Germany's not-so-friendly rendezvous with China. Once upon a time, Germany's exports danced merrily into the arms of the Chinese market. But lately, it's been more of a tepid shuffle. And guess who's crashing this export party? Yep, Uncle Sam and his bag of economic tricks. And finally, let's talk about Germany's sudden splurge on military spending. Now, unless Germany's planning a surprise invasion of Disneyland, this seems a tad suspicious, wouldn't you say? Well, guess who's been whispering sweet nothings into Germany's ear about boosting its military budget? You guessed it, the United States of America. But hey, we're not just here to sling conspiracy theories like a Monday morning quarterback. Oh no, we've got the receipts, the cold hard facts, and the smoking guns to prove it. So sit tight, grab some popcorn, and prepare to have your mind blown as we peel back the layers and reveal just how much of a hand the US has had in Germany's jaw-dropping economic freefall. Get ready, because things are about to get spicy. Chapter 3. How American pressure is shaking up German exports to China. Picture this: Germany, the undisputed heavyweight champ of exports, flexing its muscles on the global stage. From sleek motor vehicles to cutting-edge machinery and chemistry wizardry, Germany's goods are the envy of the world. And who's been their main squeeze in this export love affair? None other than China, the giant of the East. For the past 8 years, Germany has been sending its best and brightest exports straight into China's waiting arms. It's like a match made in economic heaven. Germany gets a massive market for its goods, and China gets top-notch German quality. But hold the phone, because Uncle Sam's got something to say about that. Enter Volkswagen and BASF, Germany's heavy hitters in the business world. These giants have been churning out profits and powering the German economy like nobody's business. But guess what? The US government decided to play the role of the party pooper, throwing a wrench into the works. Last month, Volkswagen and BASF found themselves in a tight spot, courtesy of Uncle Sam. They were strong-armed into shutting down their factories in China's Xinjiang province. Why? Well, according to the US government, it's because of alleged human rights violations against the local Uyghur population. But here's the thing. Despite mountains of evidence proving otherwise, the US keeps peddling this narrative like it's going out of style. Chapter 4. The US's coercive tactics and Germany's compliance. Hold on to your seats, because we're about to uncover a tale of coercion, manipulation, and economic sabotage straight out of a Hollywood thriller. This time, the spotlight's on Germany's automotive giant, Volkswagen, as it finds itself in Uncle Sam's crosshairs. It's like déjà vu all over again. Remember BASF? Well, Volkswagen's getting the same treatment, courtesy of the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation and their trusty sidekick, Adrian Zenz. Just like a well-rehearsed symphony, IPAC swooped in with their threats and ultimatums, leaving Volkswagen between a rock and a hard place. But here's the thing, this isn't Volkswagen's first rodeo. Over the years, they've weathered accusations of slave labor in Xinjiang like a champ. They've conducted audits, turned over every stone, and guess what they found? Nothing. Nada. Zilch. But this time, the pressure's cranked up to 11, and Volkswagen might be facing its toughest challenge yet. And if you thought Volkswagen was the Lone Ranger in this showdown, think again. Uncle Sam's got his sights set on other German automakers too. Porsche, Audi, Bentley, you name it. They're all in the firing line. Just because some parts might come from Western China, Uncle Sam's ready to impound thousands of cars faster than you can say trade war. But hold on to your hats, guys, because this rabbit hole goes deeper than a Mariana Trench. Uncle Sam's been playing hardball with everyone, from companies to countries, all in the name of containing China. And if you dare to defy him, well, let's just say you'll be feeling the pinch, big time. Take the chip industry, for example. The US slapped a ban on selling advanced microchips to China faster than you can say Silicon Valley. And who felt the squeeze? Chip makers worldwide, including Dutch company ASML. It's like a game of economic chess, and China's the queen they're trying to checkmate.
Since 2019, the German GDP has only been stagnating.
But here's the twist. While Uncle Sam plays puppet master, it's the local workers who bear the brunt of the fallout. Job losses, economic turmoil, the ripple effects are felt far and wide. And guess who suffers the most? The very people Uncle Sam claims to be protecting. Local workers, including Uyghurs, who've lost their livelihoods in the process. But here's what really blows my mind. Despite all the warnings, despite all the evidence, Germany's political elite, mainstream media, and even the general population are falling over themselves to obey Uncle Sam's every whim. It's like watching a game of economic Russian roulette, and the bullet's got Germany's name on it. So, what's the moral of the story here? It's simple. Beware the puppeteer pulling the strings. Stick around, because I've got more jaw-dropping revelations and eye-opening insights coming your way. Chapter 5. The U.S. plot against Nordstream and Germany's blind trust.
Before the war broke out, Germany imported over half of its gas and over a third of its oil from Russia.
Let's talk about Nordstream, shall we? This pipeline, a lifeline for natural gas flowing from Russia to Germany and beyond, was supposed to be the golden ticket to energy independence. But guess what? It became ground zero for political sabotage and the prime suspect. You guessed it, the United States. Now, why do we think it's Uncle Sam playing dirty? Well, for starters, President Joe Biden practically spelled it out for us. Remember when he said, if Russia invades, there will be no more Nord Stream? It's like a not-so-subtle hint that Uncle Sam's got a finger on the trigger. But wait, there's more. Uncle Sam's been itching to sever Germany's energy ties with Russia for ages. It's like watching a chess grandmaster plotting their next move. And guess who spilled the beans? None other than Seymour Hersh, a legendary investigative journalist. He dropped a bombshell report detailing how the bombing was a meticulously planned operation straight from the US playbook. Now you'd think a story this juicy would be front-page news, right? Wrong. Instead, crickets. German media, instead of digging deep, served up spoonfuls of denial and distraction. And Seymour Hersh. His reputation took a hit faster than you can say, cover up. But here's the kicker. Most Germans bought it hook, line, and sinker. Why? Because they've been spoon-fed the narrative that Western nations are the good guys, incapable of such dastardly deeds. It's like believing in fairy tales, except this one's got a darker twist. So, what's the takeaway here? It's a cautionary tale of blind trust, political gamesmanship, and the dangers of turning a blind eye. Chapter 6. How Sky-High Energy Prices are driving German companies overseas.
Many sectors have been counting on more funding as part of Germany's push for greener energy.
Let's talk about those sky-high energy prices, shall we? Germany's been hit with a 1-2 punch that's left its economy reeling. It all started with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, a seismic event that sent shockwaves rippling across Europe. Uncle Sam wasted no time, rallying the troops and pressuring Europe to cut ties with Russian energy faster than you can say war effort. But here's the thing, funding a war effort ain't cheap. Uncle Sam's been throwing money at Ukraine like it's going out of style, and guess who's footing the bill? You got it, good old Uncle Sam with his bottomless pockets of debt and inflationary woes. So how does Germany fit into this picture? Well, let's just say they got caught in the crossfire. With Russian gas making up a whopping 55% of Germany's energy imports, cutting ties meant one thing: skyrocketing energy prices. We're talking from bargain basement to sky-high penthouse in the blink of an eye. And here's where things get real ugly. Germany's industrial powerhouse, heavily reliant on cheap energy, took a gut punch. Picture this. Annual electricity prices soaring from a modest 50 euros per megawatt hour to an eye-watering 1,000 euros per megawatt hour. It's like watching the lifeblood of Germany's economy drain away before your very eyes.
Whatever Germany imports now will cost more than that arrangement. And that means Germans have to pay more, all Germans. Therefore, you have energy inflation, a cost of living crisis, and Germans trying to save more and consume less. And all of it reflects in the data. Last year, household consumption in Germany went down by 0.7%.
But wait, it gets worse. With prices soaring into the stratosphere, German companies are left with a choice: adapt or die. And where are they turning? You guessed it, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Uncle Sam's offering cheaper energy prices and a friendlier business climate, and German companies are taking the bait hook, line, and sinker. Last month, BASF pulled the plug on a factory in Germany, laying off over 2,600 employees in the process. Meanwhile, they're rolling out the red carpet in China, investing over $10 billion in a shiny new chemical factory. It's like watching a game of economic musical chairs, and Germany's left scrambling for a seat. Chapter 7. Germany's defense budget and the hidden hand of Uncle Sam. Now, let's talk about Germany's ballooning defense budget, shall we? Under Uncle Sam's watchful eye, Germany's been flexing its military muscle, doubling down on defense spending to the tune of 100 billion euros. But here's the thing, that money's gotta come from somewhere. And where's it coming from? You guessed it, the average Joe and Jane on the street. With energy subsidies slashed and the cost of living soaring, it's no wonder that more and more Germans are feeling the squeeze. In fact, recent stats paint a grim picture. 17.3% of the population at risk of poverty, the highest level ever recorded. And the worst thing is, instead of rallying against Uncle Sam's demands, Germany's elite are singing his praises louder than ever. But hold on to your hats because we're not done yet. Let's rewind to the Nordstream pipeline explosion. You'd think the German government would be pointing fingers at Uncle Sam, right? Wrong. Instead, they've got their sights set on Russia, all while offering up zero evidence to back their claims. And who's buying into this narrative? You guessed it, the German public. In fact, polls show that Germans are leading the charge in supporting Ukraine, with around 70% in favor of military aid. But here's the twist. Only a measly 20% see China as their top trading partner, compared to a whopping 60% who believe it's the good old US of A. It's like watching a tale of two narratives, with Uncle Sam pulling the strings and Germany dancing to his tune. It's not really that surprising, to be honest. Germany's been Uncle Sam's puppet since the end of World War II. With hundreds of military bases still standing tall on German soil, it's no wonder they can't say no when Uncle Sam comes knocking. It's a legacy of occupation, influence, and power dynamics that shaped Germany's fate for over 75 years. Chapter 8. Learning from Germany's economic missteps. And here we are at the end of our story. A tough but necessary look at how the United States played a major role in Germany's economic downfall. This tale is filled with manipulation, coercion, and the harsh reality of global politics. But even in the darkest moments, there's a tiny spark of hope, a chance for change. The truth is, the United States is the main culprit behind Germany's economic mess. By pushing Germany to abandon cheap Russian energy and forcing its companies out of China, the US pulled the strings that led to this disaster. But let's be real, the German government and its people also share the blame. They followed Washington's lead without question, even when it went against their own interests. Now here's the silver lining. Things are bad, really bad. But sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to wake up and make a change. If Germany's economy keeps spiraling down, people might start to see the US's role in their troubles and demand a new direction. If new, more practical leaders take charge, ones who understand the importance of good relationships with China and Russia, there could be hope for a turnaround. Until then, Germany's economy will likely keep getting worse, and this once great nation will struggle to find its footing. So, what's the takeaway from all this? It's a wake-up call about the dangers of blindly following powerful friends, especially when it means sacrificing your own well-being. But there's still a chance for Germany to bounce back, learn from these tough lessons, and rebuild stronger than before. Let us know what you think of all this in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And to watch the latest geopolitical news, watch this video here.